Well, what do you know? It's time for another show. It's called Voices on Win FM 96.9 FM on your dial. You're logged on for another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, and I'm with you this morning. We're going to first identify ourselves by pausing for giving credit to our sponsors, and then we come back and we get into the swing of things. So welcome to another presentation of Voices.
Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to another presentation of Voices. I often send out salutations to our viewers and listeners around the world in the various time zones. I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We have our fan base spread out around the globe in different time zones. Example, there's a 4-hour time difference between Chris Collins and I, based on where he lives at the moment. Good morning to you, Chris Collins. New York, we are the same time frame with New York at the moment, so we say good morning to Rosemary Donald up there. For all the folks gathered around the globe, welcome to another presentation of Voices. Now, we're going to have two guests with us today joining us. One will be at 11:30, and one will be directly after the midday newscast. So I would like to utilize this time to engage in whatever topic any of the callers or viewers want to engage in, because from 11:30 on we'll have a guest and we want to focus on the what we'll be discussing. But I want to start off something I read this morning. Is iconic, and it says Viv Richards passes the cap to our own Michael Lewis at the start of his first I don't know what that's Mayche. It may be a misspelling, but his first match for the West Indies, it's supposed to be a match. I would guess it's supposed to be a match. It would be his first match for the West Indies. He went on to make 27, incidental, but symbolic and iconic. We have a view of the Sir Vivian Richards, the legend, the man, the mighty, mighty man, passing the symbolic cap to the young, dynamic, and upcoming Kitchen, Mr. Michael Lewis. And that's really, really something. Then we have another clip of him being fist bumped by King Charles. Sometimes we have to pause and celebrate the positives in our youth and those that are, progressively inclined. Oftentimes we get bogged down with those who are challenged and poses negative issues for the nation. We need to work with just about everyone, but celebrate the ones that are doing well, not to the exclusion of those who are challenged and having problems, but embrace the moments for the ones who actually take us out there in the world stage and demonstrate to the world that we are in a very small space, as it would say, small but Talawa. So congratulations to the young man. I think it's a very iconic, symbolic moment for Sir Viv Richards to be passing the cap. Viv is one of his cap, and the West Indies cap. Passing the cap to none other, and let me read it again. Sir Viv Richards passes the cap to our own Michael Lewis at the start of his first match for the West Indies. And I'll pause to take this call because it's Wing It Wednesday. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Really? Wow. We would have lost a caller. Let's see if the same one is back. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
That wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
You.
Oh, you slipped. You're back.
No man. I don't slip, man.
You don't slip.
I don't knock out middle stump.
Okay, so what you ball googly pace what?
Gongos.
In swingers of gongos? Okay.
Yes.
It's Wing It Wednesday and you're live on Voices. How can we help you?
Yeah,
What's going on?
I want to say congratulations to our son, our brother.
Mm-hmm.
Our first petition landmark. We move not the old landmark. Congratulations to him. And at least he never give us any eggs to be hatched. Put double figures there.
Okay. No ducks.
And sorry, go ahead. You were saying something?
No. I say no duck.
Okay. No. I admire the great Vivian Richards for many years. Since when Kerry Packer came down here to play. Well, before that, when he wanted to carry the West Indies team to South Africa, and Viv Richards and others stood up and they said, no, they ain't going there. Because of what they were doing to black people up there. I've been admiring him and others.
And the robbers also.
Stand like him, eh?
And the robbers also.
Yes. Who took this stand. I admire them until now. So congratulations again. And look who acknowledge our little simple humble boy, son. The greatest cricketer, I would say, Viv Richards. So thank God again for that. Now let me come to something local here.
Okay.
Now there is a propagandist who goes around on a lot of the media to spread propaganda, and he can take raw facts, raw truth, which is more than visible, and he can say those things never been said by Dr. Joe. For instance, he go up on the radio and he defend Dr. Joe by saying Dr. Joe never promised to give $1,500 instead of $500. And that is Mr. Beg and Borrow. Now he getting a big salary from the government, $10,000 a month to be an advisor. Yet still, 10,000 ain't enough for he, but 500 is enough for the people that was taken away by Dr. Joe. And he gonna say he ain't true. He getting 10,000 and yet still, he going over Port Zante with his taxi in line in front of other people who ain't sure that they're going to make 50 cents a day when they go over there. So he don't got the 10,000 put aside, and yet he's still going over Port Zante in front of other people with the bus. That is not fair. That shouldn't be. He ain't have no right over there. He's a taxi.
But he's a registered taxi operator.
Yeah, don't go over there. Step on the road. If anybody wants you on the say, well, you're doing taxi, okay, yeah, but don't go over there in front of other people.
But he's a registered taxi operator.
Yeah, to go over there in front of people.
As a matter of fact,
$10,000?
I was part of a discussion last week where somebody was actually questioning the veracity of that statement. They say, yes, he's over there. He operates as a taxi driver. He's down at the ferry terminal, etc., etc. They wonder, well, how could he? Because, he has a job. All I'm saying, he's a registered, qualified taxi operator.
Yeah, I ain't going to dispute he's not registered, but there are certain places he should go and don't, certain places he should not go.
Okay.
Over Port Zante have the most taxi operators waiting for a day's job. Some of them go home nothing at all for the day. And he $10,000 done secure. Those things cannot be right. But only in St. Christopher, a lot of wrong things happen here. And nobody to oppose Dr. Joe and he minister them in there. Nobody. And he got a man wearing the cap of the leader of the opposition in St. Kitts and Nevis named Mark Brantley. And all the wrong things what his government has done and is still doing to the country. Mark Brantley hasn't seen it fit to stand up and say, listen, this is wrong and this is the way to do it. And you should not be doing that. Because he right in the middle of the mattress with them, cover up. So he need to give back the money that he's collecting every month from Parliament.
Which money?
As an opposition leader, eh?
Which money are you talking about? The man just advocated for 15% salary increase.
Yeah.
On top of what the government minister gave themselves recently, whether 33% or whatever, he's advocating for an extra 15% increase.
No,
so what are you talking about? The thing sweet?
Look, you know what happened to a lot of them politicians?
Tell me.
Some of them, they over-promise and way down under deliver. And the first thing they do, when they get in there, they change the pants. They make the pants out of pure pockets.
All pockets.
Pocket even in the hem.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be filled with Arthur
Lewis.
Elizabeth Lewis.
Arthur Elizabeth Lewis. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What was the first topic we brought this morning?
Will you come on here this morning?
What was the first topic we spoke about this morning? When you call first.
Acknowledgement of our cricketer in England.
We were talking cricket, right?
Yes.
Do you know of a song I did years ago called Spinner's Wicket?
I remember the name.
There was a verse in the song, right?
Yeah.
And it went, there's a spinner on the radio. Some people call him Beg and Borrow. Right? Right?
Let me tell you.
The wicket is taking spin. The wicket is taking spins. He is a spinner.
Yes.
So do not get upset when Mr. Edinburgh spins certain ball. It's a spinner's wicket. You know the facts. I know the facts. But don't get caught up in the spin. He bowled googly. He bowled this, but he's a spinner. And the wicket is taking spin.
Better than Lance Gibbs.
Wait, the wicket taking spin.
Yeah, and Gilbert. But look here again, the bad thing about he, disrespectful and no manners. When he on a show and you call in and he answer, and you telling him about what he's saying or what he defend, the wrong that he's defending, he cut him across to him. I wouldn't have the call it here. I wouldn't got with it. Listen to us and then he rebuttal after. But he got a bad nasty way because he's the best spin bowler in the world.
I had occasion to ask Sister Stephen Henry why she allows herself to be disrespect and abuse on the radio by these guys. Right?
Yeah.
Because when she called, some people have their angst up already and they start to just disrespect her, call all kind of names. And I asked her, why do you allow yourself to be disrespected that way? She says, Socrates, they don't want to hear the truth. And it's their way of cutting me off. So she ignores them and makes a point. I respect that.
Yeah.
But the disrespect that they give to that lady, even when Elder Clark was on, I have never disrespected him on radio. I have never disrespected any of my elders. But they do that with impunity. I figure it's politics and these people this, and it's not right. It's not decent.
Right.
And I listened to an interview recently where he was just rude to Sister Henry, but to each his own. But her point is, she will not be silenced because people, that's their way to get her to shut up and discourage her. But her job is to make sure people hear the truth. But
And
we have to accept that it's a spinner's wicket. Whoever have the best spin wins.
and none of them will stop this mountain either, you know. Never. And he should be the least to insult people, because you must remember.
Did you say that he been paid 10 grand a year? A month?
Yeah, but listen this, you know. Well, he got to be, anybody gonna select or elect somebody like he to give them advice. The person should be clean. They should have a clean record, but you must remember the job that he had, that is swear to uphold the law and enforce the law. He broke the law.
Okay.
And he had to be discharged.
We're not going to get into personalities and personal history. We just state what we have to state, right? You may not agree with him, he may not agree with you, but let's not get into the personalities, right?
No, they say
I labeled him a spinner, right?
Okay,
And the wicked is taking spin, so it's a case of beg and borrow spin. Simple as that,
Okay.
right?
Yes, man.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of it. And if you get a chance, call back in and let's have a little discussion. Right? Appreciate your call. Okay? So there's a scenario that I think I chronicled some years ago in Calypso when the gentleman was the advisor or the spinner for the then Dr. Denzel Douglas administration. Okay, let's see what it's called have to contribute. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, Socrates.
Yes, good morning.
I'm trying to load the radio that I'm listening to.
Okay.
Okay, I got it loaded.
Live and direct.
No, yeah. Good morning to you. Greetings in Jesus' name to you and to our listeners. Jesus, who is the only Savior of His elect chosen sinners, who saved them from their sins and from hell, and He who is the second person of the eternal Trinity, Jesus Christ. That is.
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Let the church say amen.
First of all, let me say something. Up to this morning, there's a gentleman who called in on Island Tea, a farmer guy, and he has been making a certain complaint over a long time now about his land and with the government and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And I think that the farmers consortium, I think they should have looked into it, but apparently it seems as though they have not. But I think that they should, at least from this very day, to take a very serious, deep look into the issue. Okay? And if he's correct, come on the air. As a matter of fact, next week, I think when they come on Ireland Tea, I think next week they should have at least something to say concerning that matter as to whether the gentleman is
As a case or not?
Yeah. Or wrong.
Okay.
One or the two. And if he's correct, stand by him. Help him fight his case. Give him all the strength that he needs to fight his case if he's in the right and the government is in the wrong.
Okay.
But if he's in the wrong, then come on the ear and create up and say, well, the gentleman is wrong. One or the two. But they should look seriously from this very day into the matter. You know, and I think next week when they come in on Ireland Tea, they should have something to say. Even if a full investigation has not completed, at least they should have something to say.
Very good point.
And as the weeks go by, continually inform the people on the issue.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, because if the gentleman is correct, I don't know whether he's wrong or correct, okay? But if he is correct, then he really needs his justice. He really, really needs his justice if he is correct.
I've had him in this program at least twice. And there are those who get the impression that he's the same complaining, or he just talking about the same thing over and over. There has to come a point in time where there's some sort of resolution. Because if he feels that he's really wrong and aggrieved, he'll continue to speak out on the media. And you're right.
Doing it too.
The consortium or whomever should get behind him and find out what his grievance is and try to bring some sort of resolution to it.
Yes, and inform, because he has brought it to the public market. So the consultant should inform us publicly what's really going on. And like I say, if he is correct, fight for his justice. Back him up. Add weight to his voice if he is correct.
You got a point.
If he is wrong, then rebuke him and say, hey, you're wrong, and let us, the public, know. And if he is half correct and half wrong, then you fight for the part that is correct and you straighten out the part that is wrong. Whatever the case is, I don't know. But he has been making this complaint for,
years.
I think, years now.
Years and years.
Yes. And so I think the public should I think the Farmers Consortium should really do something very seriously about it, starting from today. That's number one. Number two, I believe in the biblical form of government. And I've never, ever said that there should never be any government. It's just that I believe it should be very limited based upon the Bible teaching. And I like this morning how Azad corrected Mr. McMahon in telling Mr. McMahon, when Mr. McMahon said, well, I am anti-government. Azad said, no, Azad said he just got his Bible belief and government. He ain't saying that there should be no government. But he got his Bible belief and government.
Are they referring to you as being anti-government?
Yeah, Mr. McMahon referred to me on Ireland Tea this morning as being anti-government.
Okay.
Because I do not back his views as well as many views on government. So because I don't back his views on government and I don't see things his way, I am anti-government. And Azad said, no, Azad said he have his own view on government, which he believes is the biblical one. So he ain't really saying that there should be no government, And I would like to say thanks to Azad for correcting Mr. McMahon. But
for defending
also, I
you.
would like to say, hello?
For defending you.
Yeah, for defending clearing up Mr. McMahon, because Mr. McMahon ain't the only one who have said it. Others have said it to that. I don't believe in government. Even though over and over again I say, this is what the Bible says is the duties of government. We need government, but these are the biblical duties.
Somebody called me some time ago to ask you if you went to school with Jesus Christ.
If what?
Somebody called me to ask you if you went to school with Jesus Christ, because you seem to know everything about Christ and the Bible, and that's your total platform. You're expert on everything Christ. So let me call you and ask you, call me to ask you if you went to school with Jesus Christ.
Well, as the Bible tells me, that if you are a true Christian, the Holy Spirit is your teacher.
Yes.
So I have the Holy Spirit as my teacher teaching me what the Bible says about Jesus Christ and so on.
So you didn't.
Gospel,
so to answer the question, you did not go to school with Jesus Christ.
Well, obviously, I'm in Jesus Christ school.
Okay.
In Jesus Christ school. But lastly, I would like to let people know. This thing came up, and the thing was Carter is what Carter hinted at me as well. Anarchy is disobedience to the biblical law. That is anarchy, not man's law, but biblical law.
Anarchy.
And dictatorship, tyranny, and those sort of stuff are rulers in all areas of life, including government, family, churches, business, etc., who go beyond what the Bible says. Those people have made themselves God when they go beyond the Bible, and those people are actually dictators and tyrants and that sort of stuff. And that is the history of most of the world's governments, including ours.
Okay.
So thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
I do appreciate your contribution to the program every single time. So for the person, I guess they're listening, they would have heard your answer that you did not go to school with Jesus Christ. At this point in time, we're going to pause to give credit to our sponsors and return and then introduce our guest who arrive momentarily in the studio. Okay, so Trent, take us downtown and we'll be right back.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
We're back and you're logged on to an FM 98.9 on your FM dial. You're logged on to another episode of Presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. Chris Collins, yes, quick and easy. I had to ask the gentleman the question because I have a caller from Angola keep asking me to ask him if he went to school with Jesus Christ. But here's what's happening. We have with us in the studio now our first guest promised for today, and she's Dr. Joan Rollins, the president of the SKN Alzheimer's Association, and they're having a host of activities for their 10th anniversary. There's a big shindig on Saturday night coming. So I've asked the young lady to come in and just say a thing or two to the public who's unaware of it, because it's something that there's so many things going on in the society. So no stranger to the airways, Dr. Rollins, welcome back to Win FM. The microphone is yours. Want to get a bit closer so you can hear clearly.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, King Socrates. Good morning. It's been a while since I have been
a minute.
Here. Yes, I have not been on here since World Alzheimer's Month, which was September. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about our 10th anniversary celebration. And then I even say to myself, 10 years? Is it 10 years? 10 years since we started the Alzheimer's Association of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I could say that people say that we have done what they expected us to do.
Congratulations.
They appreciate what we have done. We've created a much greater awareness about Alzheimer's and dementia, and people understand better how to take care of their family members who are not well, and the caregivers know better how to treat persons living with Alzheimer's disease. So education's been a big part of what we've been doing over these 10 years. But as I say, I'm here today to talk about our fundraising event because, of course, anything we do in life, we have to put some money into it. All of us who are involved in the Alzheimer's Association are all volunteers. We are all volunteers. Nobody gets paid for anything. But we need to have some funds to buy literature for all the work we do. For the videos we have excellent videos about the care of persons living with dementia and how to handle some of the issues. Like sometimes people with dementia might want to wander away from home. They might stay up all night talking to themselves. They might want to just walk out of the door. They might become a little bit frustrated and a little bit anxious and so on. So we have all of these excellent videos which we show and which we have discussions with the family members and the caregivers. But as I said today, my main thing is to say we're having this fundraising event. It's going to be Saturday the 13th. That's this Saturday coming. It's going to be at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, and it's $150. We still have some tickets to sell, and we really need to sell those tickets because, you know, if you don't sell all your tickets, you lose money.
There you go.
Yeah, and we can't afford for that to happen. So we have tickets. So those of you out there who are listening and you have not heard about this event before, or maybe you heard about it, but you had not made up your mind about it, we want you to come. We still have enough tickets, and we want you to come. So if you're interested, you can call me on 661-9300, 661-9300, or you can call our accounting or our assistant accountant right now. Her name is Amelia. You can call Amelia on 663-1700, 663-1700, and we will be happy to organize to get your ticket to you.
This is a non-profit.
Absolutely. We're an NGO, we're a non-profit.
Yep.
We don't get any money from anybody unless we...
You have to beat the pavement to access sponsors,
Exactly, exactly. But
I'm happy that WINNFM is able to partner with you in promoting the cause that you actually initiated when you returned from overseas for some time.
That's right.
You mentioned a while ago a video. How did that come about? That had to be funded?
The videos, we have to... some of them we have to buy, but some of them we can actually get some off online. We can download some, but some of them we own and some of them, so we have to buy some of those. But as you say, to get our money, we have to beat the pavement.
Yep.
So we're grateful to those out there who have helped us. Oh, and I must not forget that the patron for our event, this fundraising event, is our Governor General, Dame Marcella Liebert. She is the patron of our fundraising event, and we're very grateful that she has agreed to do this for us. And we hope that we'll see some of you all on Saturday night, so that you can come out and celebrate with us. But as I talk about the 10th anniversary, I would like to give recognition to those who were there with us from the beginning. Okay, we started as a small group of us. My husband and I had just retired from abroad. We'd been working abroad. In Trinidad specifically, we had just come back from 25 years of living and working in Trinidad. And while I was in Trinidad, I was working for the University of the West Indies as a senior lecturer there. And I was also involved as a volunteer to the Alzheimer's Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was involved with them for 10 years, and I was a vice president of the association there for 5 years. So when I got here, retired, and wondering what to do with myself apart from reading a book every week, because I love to read, and I hadn't had time to read for fun for a long time. But I decided, this might be the thing to do. So I had discussions with my friends from the Moravian Seniors Club and Dr. Isben Williams and some other people. And I'm actually going to read the list of the members who were actually founding members who were there from day one. So founding members were Vanta Archibald, Carolette Crook, Doris Adams, Doris Taylor, Charles Benjamin, Margaret Benjamin, Deborah Rawlins, Wilmot Rawlins, Pat Leader from the Grange.
I know Pat.
Yes, you know Pat, and she's been here with us on this program before. Robbie Lee Joan, I've said Dr. Isman Williams already, my husband, Dr. Sam Rawlins, Ruby Thomas, Pedella Stanley, Gwen Webb, Clarita Richards, Margaret Hodge, and of course myself, Joan Rawlins. So those were the founding members, and about that's 18 people. Just over half of us from this founding group are still with the group. Some have migrated, some are not so well. But, we have grown since that time, and others have filled the space, and we have quite a nice number of persons who we can call our regular members. Right now, the fundraising committee's meeting, in fact, I left the meeting with them to come here to this morning.
I know you're very busy. I know you came here yesterday morning because there was some misinformation.
Yes.
And I said to you, I know you're a very busy person at this particular time, but can you come on, because the awareness still has to be spread at every opportunity. So you were here yesterday.
And I'm here again this morning, but I left the fundraising committee busy. They're working and they have tickets over where they are right now.
Are there any other outlets except for the numbers that you mentioned for the tickets?
Well, no.
Any particular outlets?
Yeah, outlet. No, just the community.
Contact numbers?
No other contact numbers. And in fact, all the members of the fundraising committee have tickets, but they did not all want their numbers read out on the phone. So
and they are $150 per ticket?
$150 per ticket.
And this is coming down on
Saturday,
the 13th.
Saturday the 13th. At the Royal St. Kitts Hotel.
People get confused with the Marriott.
Right across the road from the Marriott, the Royal St. Kitts. And it's going to be an elegant affair, a grand affair. This gives you an opportunity to come out wearing your evening dress. So please feel to come out, wear your evening dress. Of course, if you don't have an evening dress, well, we still want you to come, okay? But just bearing in mind that it is an elegant affair. Our Governor General is going to be there. Some of the other ministers of government will be there.
What should the men wear?
It'd be nice. They should come nicely dressed.
You said the women should come in the evening dress. I don't have an evening dress.
They should have a little jacket or nice little jacket or something really nice.
Formal, semi-formal.
It's not jeans and t-shirt. Definitely not jeans and t-shirts. It's an elegant affair. So come out in your best, and we will have a grand time. I should mention that our King Socrates here, who has written a lovely song. It's called Precious Memories. It's a song about dementia. And, when I first heard it, I was just amazed because it's brilliant. It captures so nicely. But it's brilliant, I have to say so. I can't keep that to myself. It captures the essence of some of the issues of Alzheimer's, and he's going to come and sing it for us on the night. So come early, because this is going to sing at the very beginning of the event, and I wouldn't want you to miss it. It starts like, given what we know about this crippling form of dementia, there is no hope. Your cognitive faculties gone. You won't recognize your own children, etc., etc.
So if I don't show up, you can do justice.
I couldn't do justice because I don't sing.
I was trying to find a copy of it when I came earlier on, but
you couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it. I have a copy in my vehicle, but there's one in the system here. But the gentleman is not familiar with it. If not, we would have played it prior.
That would have been nice, because we played it once before last year when it was World Alzheimer's Month, and people were so delighted. I mean, people were saying to me they hadn't heard it before. It's such a beautiful song. I mean, because it creates great awareness.
These songs don't get airplay because they're not what some people feed
sexy.
The public.
Yes, right? Yes. Unfortunately.
But it impacts our lives. Every single one of us, whether you're a caregiver or as you advance in age and you start to present with these maladies, what do you do?
That's right. And it's no respect of persons.
No respect of persons.
No respect of persons at all. And we need to know about it, because as someone said to me the other day, someone I'd been having a conversation with, and now they know a little bit more about Alzheimer's. The person said, I love my relative, but sometimes they would irritate me so much that I would have to hold myself back from abusing them. Mm-hmm. But you see, when people understand that Alzheimer's disease is a disease of the brain, it's a real condition. It's not a condition, it's not a situation where the older person is just being miserable for being difficult, just for the fun of it. That is not it. It's a very real condition. Things are happening in the brain. Plaques and tangles are being formed. The brain cannot function as it used to function before. And we have to be patient. We have to show love. And when we are patient and kind and show love, oddly enough, the person with dementia calms down a bit more, and it's easier to manage. But I could not leave here today without saying a one thing more about it. It's no respect of persons. All of us know someone who has dementia.
I know a family member who walked away about maybe 3 months ago.
Yes.
She was gone for about 4 days.
Yes.
So I actually found her in the mountains in Sandon Point, in an area where she once worked.
Yes, because this is what happens. The then the new memory is gone, but some of the old memory is still there. So people want
revert to
yeah,
that.
right. So sometimes when they walk away, they're trying to find where they lived before when they were children or where they worked, like this person you spoke of.
I
long time
interviewed a
before.
lady about 3 weeks ago. She's in her 90s, and I was warned by her son that, she's has some memory loss. I would ask her questions. Well, I thought she would know, and she was just blank. It's a part of what's happening.
It is.
But just trying to
that.
document the history, the impact she's had on the commercial level standing point. But every one of us is affected by it. So you find what you've done since you returned from Trinidad in bringing the awareness to the public at large and the education, which is fundamentally important for the caregivers, and being able to better recognize and appreciate signs. Because back in the day, we used to look at the crazy people and walking around town and this and that and that.
I know, back in the day. But thank God, I mean, we're in a new state now. More people understand what Alzheimer's is. They wouldn't, for example, tease a person with Alzheimer's and say you're crazy or say bad things. They know it's a condition. They know it's a disease that is very real. Caregivers who've been trained and family members who've been trained, they also would not be cruel. I mean, they wouldn't tie a person with Alzheimer's to a bed, which would happen before, or they would not lock him in a room anymore. They know that is not the thing to do.
Okay. We're going to pause to give credit to sponsors. I see you checking your time because you do have to run. We're going to open the line. If you can take a call or two when we get back, or you have more information to present, just do so. I know I snatched you to bring you in the studio. You got things to do, so you're going by midday. In the meantime, downtown and back and see what the callers have to contribute.
Chip, chip, chip. We want to get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, chip, chip. We want to get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, chip, chip. We want to get chip, chip, chip.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
It's 11:44 as we take up to the midday hour when we'll be presenting the Win FM's midday newscast. In the meantime, we have with us in the studio Dr. Joan Wallings, and she's coming to speak to us. When she came, she's dropped by to let us know what's happening with the 10th, as part of the 10th anniversary of the Alzheimer's, well, I won't say establishment.
The founding of the Alzheimer's
Okay,
Association.
let's take a quick call and see if they're at this debate. Good day, caller 11 Voices. Got a caller, 11 Voices. We missed that call. They're quick. Anyway, in the meantime, you share information.
So it's about our...
Okay, caller 11 Voices. Got a caller, 11 Voices. Okay, they hit and run. Continue, Doc.
I was just saying, it is about our 10th anniversary since the organization was founded, the Alzheimer's Association of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Mm-hmm.
And we have spent a lot of our time educating the communities, populations. We speak to churches, to community groups, to service clubs. We have what we call a speakers bureau. So if anybody wants a little talk about what Alzheimer's is about, how it affects family and so on, they can call us and we'll go to speak to them.
I didn't ask if you engage the police, the security.
No, you
Pastor?
didn't ask me, but it's on the list. It's one of those groups that
Uh-huh.
we must speak to because, for example, if a person with Alzheimer's wanders away from home, it is the police who has to try to find them. Yeah, so it's on our list of something we must do, and
Yes.
one of these times we will make an effort to speak to the either the new incoming police officer or whatever group of police persons they can put together because it's important. Another thing with regard to the police is sometimes a person with dementia might do something that is seen to be illegal or not proper.
And the police
the
is
police will
not
be called and the
trained.
police does not know. For example, they might take something from a store and just walk out with it without paying for it. I mean, you and I know that when we have something, we must go to the cashier and the cashier will take
Okay.
our money and we go out the store. But a person with dementia might not remember the whole process because this is how it is. It doesn't always follow the sequence that we know is a natural sequence. And the police will be called and the person will be charged.
Caller, you live on Voices.
Yes, Socrates.
Sir.
I would like to ask the good doctor. For somebody who, well, if somebody wants to know what are the early stages that a person might be getting affected.
You mean what to look for?
Yeah.
What to look for?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. I'll just speak to that as you've called in. It varies from individual to individual, but the commonest thing people will complain, their relatives will complain about, or the individual might mention it, is the memory, that the memory does not work the same way as it did before. But I always hasten to add that not every situation of memory not being as good as it used to be is a case of dementia. So we must not diagnose ourselves, okay? We have to go to our family physician and get a proper diagnosis. But that will usually be the first thing. People don't remember what happened yesterday or what they did today, or they don't remember anything about anything. Now, all of us forget things, all of us. Half of us don't know where we have our car keys at the time. Half of us don't know where we put our glasses. Even young people don't know where their phones are. Okay, so it doesn't mean that we have dementia. This kind of memory loss is a kind of memory loss with dementia that upsets and ruins your day. It's a kind of memory loss that is so bad that you just can't function anymore. If I can't find my car keys, well, I think where did I put them, on the dining table, or did I take them to the bedroom when I came in? And before long, I have found them. So that's not the kind of memory loss we'd be concerned about. Usually, ordinary, if you have no problem, you will just retrace your steps and find whatever it is you're looking for. Now, someone with dementia will not be able to do that. So when this person just really is confused and, they don't know what is what, and they're going in the wrong bathroom, if they, in the house, if there's a bathroom for visitors and you don't normally use that bathroom, and if that person keeps going to the wrong bathroom all the time, well, you begin to wonder. So that is in the early stage. Something else people might do is they repeat themselves. They tell you a story, and 5 minutes later they tell you the same story again, or 5 minutes later they tell it again. That kind of thing.
I've seen it happening to friends of mine.
Yes, it happens. So that is the kind of thing you're going to be a little bit concerned about. And as it goes, so it's never just a one thing. You can't just say they got dementia just because they don't remember something. It's
Taking a call, Doc. But Doc, they call your 11 Voices.
Yes, Socrates.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and the good doctor there.
Yes.
My question is, what causes memory loss? Because young people in the hospital in the 20s and teens, and they go to the wrong bed, go lay down. So I don't know what causes that. That's my question.
Okay, all right. There will be many different causes for memory loss, okay? Alzheimer's, usually the person's a little bit of an older person. The majority of cases of Alzheimer's dementia will happen to people who are over 65, okay? There are some young cases, and I've seen people as young as 34, 35 with dementia. And when it happens earlier than that, it's usually the hereditary kind, and that represents only a very, very small percentage of those, right? So on average, persons will be a little bit older. Now, as I said, there are a variety of causes of memory loss, and I'm not speaking here or just of Alzheimer's, and you'd have to check that out yourself, because there are many things. It could be environment, it could be injury you had before, it could be something genetic or so on.
Trauma.
Trauma, right. But for Alzheimer's dementia, the answer to that is we don't know exactly what causes it, okay? We really don't know. And the research has been ongoing for years. But what we do know from the research that we're now seeing is that there is something that we ourselves can do to reduce our risk, okay? A research done recently in the UK, they covered like more than 20,000 people were involved in this research. And what they found out is that there were like 12 modifiable risk factors, okay? So if we can work on those, which we can work on, by modifiable it means that we can do something about it ourselves. And I'm glad that caller asked that particular question, because I was going to speak a little bit about modifiable risk factors, okay? So it means that if we can reduce our risk for, say, diabetes, okay? And you can reduce your risk for diabetes by your diet, okay? You can reduce your risk for hypertension by eating a diet that's less salty, eating a diet that's more moderate, and so on. You have to check that out if you want to know more about that. Alcohol, you can reduce the amount of alcohol you consume. You can try not to get obese. You can try not to get head injury or so on. Be involved. Don't stay lonely, because loneliness and isolation are some of the risk factors for dementia. So they listed about 12 different things. And one of the things that really surprised us when the research first came out had to do with hearing loss.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Yes, I mentioned it last year when I was here for World Alzheimer's Month. What they're finding is that if you are hearing impaired and you don't get your ears fixed, that is, you don't go get a hearing aid, you increase your risk significantly for dementia later on. Okay, so the answer to this really is if you have a hearing problem, go get a hearing aid. Okay, hearing aids tend to be expensive, but every now and then there's a program here in St. Kitts where some people come and they donate hearing aids. So if you have a hearing problem, go and get one of those hearing aids, because it's much easier to fix a hearing problem than a dementia problem.
Yep.
It's just, but so the research is out there saying there are some things that we can do, and we can not live in a kind of super polluted environment as well.
Well, I want to say congratulations on your achievement, your 10-year milestone, being able to celebrate the highs and the lows. There have been many, many challenges, which I can't go into all of them at the moment. But what would you say if you were to pinpoint one or two of the highlights?
I would say that people are quite open to listening to what we now have to say about dementia and Alzheimer's. They will talk about it, but there's a problem still of stigma, right? So people who will not say, I have a relative with dementia, but they start the conversation and you can speak freely about the conversation. I still find that, and this is for me a low, that people whose relatives have dementia, they're very reluctant to say, my relative has dementia. Okay. So there's some stigma still attached, which we need to work against. There's no need for stigma. If your relative has a heart attack or has asthma or has something, you tell people, my relative has asthma, my relative had a heart attack, and we're sorry for you and we help you. If your relative has dementia, nobody wants to talk about it. I think we could improve the situation, because early detection helps. We help you. You can reorganize the situation, plan for the future, and plan for the care of your relative.
Do we have time for one last call? What time we have is, yes. If anybody wants to pose a question to the doc, we can do so now. In the interim, we can just give out more information once again as to what, where, how we get tickets, etc. And we'll take a call or two if not.
Okay. Yes, so I'm here really this morning from the Alzheimer's Association of St. Kitts and Nevis to talk about the 10 years that we've been involved in this mission. We started in July 2014, and here we are 10 years later, the Alzheimer's Association of St. Kitts and Nevis. We meet regularly every month at the Girl Guides building in Taylor's Range. If you're interested in Alzheimer's disease, to know more about it or to hear how to better take care of your relatives, you're welcome to meet us there at 10 o'clock in the morning, the third Monday of every month. If we're not planning to meet on that third Monday because the Girl Guides have other use for their building, we would normally speak about it on bulletin board. Okay. Right. But we're here today to celebrate, to speak about our celebration, which will be Saturday, the 13th of July, at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, where we're having a fundraising dinner, and tickets are still available. And we would like you to use up those tickets. We want you to come out and celebrate with us so that we can continue to do our work and do even a better job than we're doing now.
Nobody knows what ailment may befall us.
Part of the song.
Given a choice, we'll choose the less painless of all, less painful of all. No one wishes to be as a vegetable, a mere shadow of one's former self. Yes. Unaware of your surroundings, don't know if you're coming or going. Seems you're actually seen as a danger to your own self. Yes. When we go to memories, all your precious memories, replaced by that dread disease we know as Alzheimer's. Routine activities, once performed with so much ease, now becomes complexities you cannot decipher. You cannot be left alone to eat or bathe on your own. It's a case of once a man, twice a baby. You must be in the arms of caregivers or loving family members. The irony is that of this you'll have no memory.
Yes.
And it's a reality that millions around the world face every day. I've heard some of the scientists up there speaking about possible cures, etc., but nothing documented as far as you know. They're just experimenting and guessworking.
For decades. They've been experimenting for more than 3 decades, more than 30 years, 30, 40 years. This research is ongoing. Every now and then they say, oh, we found something. And then 6 months later they come and say, oh, it's not working because it has too many side effects. Just the other day we thought we had something good. And they said it would help people, especially those in the very, very early stages of dementia. But the cost was something like $36,000 a year to treat one person. I mean, who is going to be able to pay that? So, there are some medicines out there which will help restlessness and agitation and some of the symptoms of the condition, but nothing that will cure right now. But, there is ongoing research still, and some people are doing the research which suggests that our diet, we need to look at our diet.
Preventative measures, what we identify as preventable measures?
Yes, watch your diet and reduce your risk. Because they say that if we change our lifestyle, 40% of the cases of dementia we won't see those. Just by adjusting the diet, of course it won't work for everyone, okay? Some people are doing the best they can with their diet and still they will get it. But 40% of those who adjust their diet, we will see a reduction in their risk for dementia. It's no respect of persons, therefore we have to do what we can.
It is now 11:59. We've come to the end of the first half of today's presentation of Voices, and we've been graced with the presence of Dr. Joan Wallins, President of the St. Kitts Nevis Alzheimer's Association, celebrating their 10th anniversary with a soiree on Saturday night over at the Royal St. Christopher Hotel. We now have to pause for the WINNFM's midday newscast. Doc, don't be a stranger.
No, I won't be. Looking forward to seeing you in September when we have World Alzheimer's Month. Thank you. Thank you.
We're now pause for the WINNFM's midday newscast.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown.
Our top stories. Leon Bullen of Carriacou urges St. Kitts and Nevis to continue aid support through relief drive. Public Works addressing issues in Bastia relating to road safety. CARICOM reconvening summit in Grenada late July. Soldiers from Antigua and Barbuda arrive in Grenada. Internationally, Indonesia intensifies search for dozens buried in landslide that killed at least 23 people.
Now the details.
Leon Bullen, a resident of St. Kitts and Nevis and originally from Carriacou, encourages citizens and residents to continue efforts to aid Grenada post-Hurricane Beryl. On Carriacou, hardly any buildings were left unscathed, and the same for Petite Martinique.
The Grenadian Association here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we're in collaboration with NEMA. They were very much on board. They were hoping that we would come on board to work with them to organize a relief drive for Grenada. The government has issued a priority list of items. We are encouraging the Grenadian community and the wider Kittitian community and Nevisian community to contribute to this drive. They're looking for things such as non-perishable goods, adult and baby diapers, formula, batteries, flashlights, things of that nature. I believe we posted something on the NEMA website, and they also have posted on their website their list of priority items. And so we're encouraging persons to donate just those items at this point in time, as these things are seen as items that are the greatest need in Grenada.
Bullen during the July 10th broadcast of Wynn's Island Tea. Collection points include the ECCB's visitor parking lot and at NEMA in Lime Keene. Starting on July 11th, every Thursday between 4 and 5:30 p.m. at ECCB, and at NEMA, Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. For more information, contact Bullen at 763-4971. Beryl caused significant damage across the southeastern Caribbean on Monday, July 1st, 2024, removing doors and windows and roofs as it made landfall on the island of Carriacou in Grenada. The storm, driven by record warm waters, is not only the earliest but also the most powerful Category 4 hurricane recorded in the Atlantic. Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell reported that half an hour after Beryl made landfall, Carriacou was flattened. The island has a population of just about 6,000 people. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has requested donations from the public to support relief efforts in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. The relief drive will run from July 5 to July 19th, 2024, with donations being accepted at NEMA's warehouse from Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Anyone interested in making cash donations directly to the relief fund in Grenada can do so at pay.gov.gd. During the July 8, 2024 broadcast of Traffic Talk on WINN's Island T, an engineer at the Public Works Department of St. Kitts, George Gilbert, shared some upcoming infrastructure work to be undertaken in the Central Bastia area to deal specifically with traffic. The topic of discussion was speeding, and authorities continue to plead with the general public not to speed, especially in residential areas and areas where schools are located. One of the ways the Public Works Department, in collaboration with the Traffic Department, in ensuring speeding is limited in such areas is with the installation of speed bumps around Bastia St. Kitts to commence in August.
In Bastia in particular, the schools, the pedestrians, and the general public are asking for pedestrian. And the police and public works made some visits in the Bastia area and identify some areas where speed bumps should be installed. So we actually have a plan to roll out some speed bumps. We want to start in the Bastia, and then we will go out in the rural areas after. The areas in Bastia we're looking at is in the Dr. William Connor School area, Tucker Clark School area, Washington Archibald High School, and Bastia High School, that basin inside there, Irish Town School, and then we'll move into the rural areas after that. We plan to start the program next month while the schools are on vacation.
Additionally, Gilbert urged motorists to comply with the traffic lights as it would endanger other motorists and pedestrians.
What we find happening is that motorists are not respecting the lights. They're actually running the lights. You see the lights start turning yellow and you still speed through. And also it is red, you still go through. So when that happens, it creates another problem. It means that maybe the walk is on, and then you realize the pedestrians have to wait on you while you are going through, and then they do not get the full time to go across. That's a problem. Secondly, now the pedestrians, sometimes they do not pay attention. The light is on, you see this, the silver man comes on, and then they do not move right away, and then they move later on, and the light changes on them. The lights are set to international standards. We need to, I have seen also that motorists stop in the area to pick up people, to put off persons, and then they try to proceed and they block the traffic up, and you have congestion in those very same areas.
Gilbert acknowledged that there are issues with some of the traffic lights and the problems are being addressed.
Yes, I know that motorists, the public, we have a problem with some of the lights, in that the backup batteries have gone. So whenever current goes, they go through. And when current come back, they will come back on. We are trying to get batteries. You can't store batteries for any length of time because they would actually still go. So we have some batteries on order. They should be here shortly. The areas of concern would be Sundown Road, the bottom of 4th Street, and Baker's Corner. Those 3 areas in Bastia. The others are working fine. So we have ordered backup batteries. So when current goes, the battery actually trips in and then it will work as usual. So what happens now, if current goes, the light will go out. When current comes back, the light will come back on. So that's one of our challenge right now, which we are working on.
The Traffic Department continues to urge road users to drive safely and adhere to traffic laws to avoid not just tickets, but possible prison sentences and loss of life.
In regional news,
CARICOM reconvening summit in Grenada late July. Soldiers from Antigua and Barbuda arrive in Grenada. Those reports and more from Carib Update.
CARICOM will hold its annual Heads of Government Conference in Grenada before the end of the month. This was announced in St. George's on Tuesday. The annual summit was put off earlier in the month as Hurricane Beryl barreled to the Eastern Caribbean. Prime Minister Decon Mitchell said the rescheduled dates for the meeting will be known within 24 hours. CARICOM has already set up a committee of leaders to deal with the recent challenges posed by the effects of the hurricane on multiple islands in the region. The subcommittee is headed by Barbados' Prime Minister, Mia Mottley. A small contingent of soldiers from Antigua and Barbuda and Guyana has arrived on Carriacou and Petit Martinique, Grenada's Prime Minister Decon Mitchell announced on Tuesday. He said Guyana is to send more soldiers within the next few days. Meantime, Prime Minister Mitchell warned that it will be what he called a long, hard road before any semblance of normalcy returns to hurricane-damaged Carriacou and Petit Martinique. The Grenadian leader said that this is the very early stage of the relief effort. Power has started to come back for some of the millions of homes and businesses left in the dark when Hurricane Beryl slammed into the Houston area. A heat advisory was in effect through Wednesday in the Houston area and beyond, with temperatures expected to soar into the 90s and humidities that could make it feel as hot as 105 degrees. The widespread loss of power and therefore air conditioning could make for dangerous conditions, the National Weather Service said. More than 2.3 million homes and businesses around Houston lacked electricity Tuesday, down from a peak of over 2.7 million on Monday. Beryl has been blamed for at least 7 deaths, 1 in Louisiana and 6 in Texas, officials said. The storm weakened after making landfall, and late Tuesday morning, it was a post-tropical cyclone centered over northeastern Arkansas, moving northeast with maximum sustained winds near 30 miles per hour, the Weather Service said. Its strength wasn't expected to change much in the next 2 days. The head of the UN Multinational Security Support Mission in Haiti has reaffirmed the mission's commitment to curbing gang violence and ensuring democratic elections. Hundreds of deployed Kenyan police officers are working to weaken the gang's hold, which has intensified since the assassination of President Jovenel Moise in 2021. The head of the Kenyan-led multinational force, Godfrey Otonge, said there's no room for failure. The nationally broadcast news conference was the first public comment from the Kenyan force, though the briefing did not take any questions from the media.
The job is to ensure there's a restoration of peace throughout Haiti, and we intend to achieve this, and therefore there's no room for failure on our side.
Still, major questions remain about the Kenyan force, which arrived late last month in Haiti, months after powerful gangs seized control of most of the country's capital, Port-au-Prince, and caused the Prime Minister's resignation. At home, Kenyan police have long been accused by watchdogs and witnesses of human rights abuses, including the recent protest. Haiti's new Prime Minister Gary Coney has called the history of foreign intervention in his country a mixed bag that has included human rights abuses and a lack of respect for sovereignty and local culture. Some in Haiti, however, have welcomed the new mission with hope. The United States has delivered various military equipment and materials there as the United Nations sanctioned a Kenyan-led multinational support mission to the country, warning criminal gangs that the U.S. have a job that they are committed to do. The United States has said it would not be sending troops to Haiti, but would be providing over $300 million in financial assistance and up to $60 million in equipment. Over the last weekend, a U.S. Air Force cargo plane arrived at the Toussaint Louverture International Airport with equipment, including several Max Pro armored vehicles. In addition to receiving military equipment, the officers also received various resources to facilitate their mission, including washing machines and a host of other essential items. Haitian police say they have regained control of the country's largest public hospital, more than 4 months after armed gangs launched coordinated attacks in Port-au-Prince and seized control of the area around the facility to use as part of an escape route. Ramon Norme, the new head of the Haiti National Police, said on Monday that police took control of the hospital of the State University of Haiti, also known as the General Hospital, on Sunday night. Meanwhile, Norme also vowed that Haitian police will launch operations very soon against powerful gangs terrorizing the country. Norme told a news conference, his first public appearance since assuming the job on June 2, that one day people are going to wake up and see that the bandits have been stopped by the police. However, he did not reveal the details of how they will proceed. Cuba confirmed on Monday that it had foiled a plot to sneak arms and ammunition onto the island from the United States, detaining nearly 36 people in a broader scheme authorities say sought to destabilize its government. Cuba first unveiled details of the plot last December when authorities said a Cuban man residing in the United States arrived on the island by jet ski, armed with guns, ammunition, and military gear to recruit others and commit acts of violence. A subsequent 7-month investigation, said Victor Alvarez, a lead criminal investigator with Cuba's Interior Ministry, unveiled a broader plan that includes participation by 32 Cuban residents and a U.S.-based group called La Nueva Nación Cubana, which Cuban authorities say continues to plot attacks on Cuba from U.S. soil. Cuba said it had notified the U.S. government agencies of the results of the investigation, but said the individuals continue to act with impunity. The U.S. State Department said it was aware of the most recent allegations. Cuban authorities have shared with the media what they said was a videotaped confession by Ardenes Garcia, who allegedly entered Cuba by jet ski in November before proceeding to recruit others to join him. Officials said Garcia, who is now detained in Cuba, also faces human trafficking charges in the United States. The Cuban government has imposed price caps on some imported food. The move comes despite initially signaling it was willing to hold off after private business owners warned the measures would force them to stop importing chicken, powdered milk, and other essentials, increasing the public risk of hunger. According to a new regulation published in the Cuban Gazette on Monday, the price of chicken parts sold by private businesses to consumers cannot exceed 680 Cuban pesos per kilogram, starting immediately. The official Gazette also published new capped prices for powdered milk, sausages, pasta, cooking oil, and detergent sold by private businesses. The government, however, did not impose similar price limits on food sold at government stores.
We now bring you these international reports.
One body bag after another, carried by search and rescue workers from the site of one of Indonesia's worst gold mine accidents in recent years. With the weather clearing up for a few hours on Tuesday, the dead were able to be airlifted, but there was no sight of any survivor.
We still anticipate bad weather. Plus, it is taking 4 to 5 hours by land to get heavy equipments here. So these are hampering search and rescue operations.
There were nearly 400 personnel involved in search and rescue work by Tuesday, but there was only one backhoe on site. Most of the digging was being done with hand tools despite the scale of the disaster. Torrential rains last weekend triggered a landslide and buried a small-scale gold mine in a remote village on Sulawesi Island. Many of those who managed to escape are in hospital, with harrowing tales of how they survived and watching other miners get buried alive.
Once the landslide stopped, I stopped moving, but I was still conscious. I had difficulty breathing, so I thought for sure I would not survive.
Rickson Bohongo was carried away by the landslide and found himself 50 meters away from his camp.
From one side, there was a landslide, while on the other side, there was a river that was still rushing. So the three of us, one injured at his waist, and two including me with injured legs, trapped since 4 o'clock in the morning, could only give in.
Survivors say it is a miracle they're alive, and they fear it may take another miracle for rescuers to pull anyone else alive from the rubble. Barnaby Lowe, Al Jazeera.
Wildfires, storms, hurricanes and flooding have pushed up costs for the insurance and reinsurance industry. In the UK, weather damage insurance claims were worst on record last year, according to the Association of British Insurers. This massive rise was largely fueled by the succession of storms that struck last autumn. In June this year, Swiss Re, one of the world's biggest reinsurers, said the industry significantly underestimated the fallout from recent natural disasters across Europe and warned that some areas have become uninsurable. And in Texas right now, millions of homes are out of power in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. Well, Mateus Truchet is head of global property and casualty at Allianz Group. I asked him if this problem is growing.
It isn't, as you just said, we can see on a worldwide scale that there's a lot of extreme weather on the different continents. We have everything from droughts to wildfires to really extreme heat. And as the numbers you just quoted show us, the amount of insured losses have indeed really risen a lot. Now, that is not just due to extreme weather, I have to say. There's also a lot of socioeconomic factors, being it claims inflation, being it a higher aggregation of property in hazardous areas, and just also a growing economy as well. And it is very important to separate the two effects in order to be able to really fully understand what's happening and what might be happening over the next years.
In the short term, are we assuming this will only get worse? We hope it will get better as governments, organisations and we as all individuals respond to the climate crisis. But in the short term, in the years ahead, things will not improve significantly. So how are you preparing for that?
I think it's very important to take a couple of measures. The insurance industry can and will play a role in that because we think we have a lot of expertise in terms of not just estimating, but also assessing how and where this is going to strike most likely. At the same time, global warming is here to stay. I think everyone knows that. And we will have to invest a lot more into protection and into resilience. And all of this together with the role of the state, where there must be enough of state incentive to also invest into protection and also make sure that we have enough resilience in nature. That together, we think is the only way to be able to cope with that in the next years.
Not surprising to hear that Swiss Re is warning some parts of Europe are uninsurable. That has to be true of so many countries around the world. And if that is the case, will people just have to move away? There'll be parts of countries that are uninhabitable.
The question about insurability certainly is one, but if you were to live in a place where you'd be sure that your home would either be completely flooded or burnt once every 10 years at least, would you really want to live there? And is that sustainable in a way? As I said, insurance is one part, but the other parts are really protection and resilience. And I think we have to make sure we're all more aware of what's happening and what makes sense.
To Gaza, where 4 schools have been hit by Israeli airstrikes over the past 4 days, killing scores of Palestinians, many children. The latest happened in southern Gaza, where doctors at the Al Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis say at least 29 people were killed and dozens more were wounded in an Israeli airstrike on a camp for displaced people, which hit tents outside a school. The medics said many of the wounded were in a critical condition. Videos online showed more than a dozen dead and seriously injured people, including children on the floor of a hospital. Israel says it's looking into the reports. The strike on Khan Yunis in the south comes as the Israelis have launched intensive attacks in Gaza City in central Gaza on the ground and from the air. Many Palestinians have been killed in separate strikes on 2 UN-run schools and 1 church-run school in the Nusrat refugee camp. Meanwhile, talks on the Gaza conflict are due to resume in Qatar. Washington says there's hope for a deal on a truce and hostage release. Well, let's go to Nick Beek, who's our correspondent in Jerusalem. Nick, I wondered if we could start with the latest on what you're hearing about that incident in Khan Yunis.
Yeah, well, eyewitnesses have been talking to the BBC, Nikki, and they've been describing this horrific scene yesterday. The site in the south of the Gaza Strip, near the the city of Khan Yunis, and it was somewhere where a lot of displaced Palestinian families had been seeking shelter and safety. There was apparently food and water there. Some of the children were able to have lessons. But this missile struck yesterday without any warning, and eyewitnesses have described a graphic, horrific aftermath, including women and children having been killed. Some medical officials are saying that at least 29 people were killed. As for the Israeli response to this, they say they're looking into claims that civilians were killed. The Israelis are saying, though, that they carried out this attack, but they were targeting an individual who they said was a Hamas operative, who they say was involved in the October the 7th attacks, and that was the justification for striking there. As you were saying, this is the fourth attack on a school that was being used to shelter people in the past 4 days, and in the first 3 cases the Israeli authorities said that they were targeting Hamas politicians or Hamas police officers or Hamas fighters in these locations, so that's why they were aiming for them.
The Israeli attacks also happening around Gaza City.
Yeah, that's right, and we've seen quite an increase in activity around that place. Of course, thousands of people, Palestinians, having to move because of the fighting raging there. Hamas say that they've been engaging with Israeli fighters, Israeli troops, claiming to have killed some of them. At the same time, the Hamas leadership are saying that the ongoing Israeli operations are putting in danger and threatening the peace talks that you mentioned that are once again taking place in Qatar today. And there is some optimism that's sort of built up over the past 10 days or so that the two sides may be reaching an agreement. But obviously what happened yesterday doesn't help at all. And you've got the Prime Minister here, Benjamin Netanyahu, vowing to keep up the fighting to destroy Hamas, even though opposition figures, and also we're seeing some senior members of the military here apparently believing that the idea of completely destroying Hamas just isn't possible to do.
And Nick, on these ceasefire talks, you talk about optimism. Some of this seems to be around that demand that reports say Hamas have dropped about there being the permanent ceasefire.
Yeah, this is absolutely the crux of it. So what they're looking at the moment, what they're discussing, is a proposal that was put forward by President Biden back in May, and it would involve initially a 6-week truce, a pause in the fighting, during which time more hostages taken by Hamas on October the 7th could be released and returned to their families. It seems in the past week that Hamas has dropped this key demand, and they were saying that if there is going to be this process, right at the start, the Israelis have to say this will be an absolute complete ceasefire, and that the troops will go, the tanks will go, and there won't be a resumption of Israeli operations. Now, if that is the case, if Hamas has said that's something they'll accept, then potentially that does mean that they are moving in the same direction. But as we've been hearing publicly, the proclamations from both sides suggest there is big tensions. I think interesting to listen to the White House. They've been saying that despite all that's being bandied about behind closed doors, and remember this is a private negotiation, the two sides are moving closer together. They're not hugely optimistic, though, the White House. They're not talking about any sort of imminent breakthrough, and if there is to be one, there certainly aren't any signs of that coming at the moment, Nikki.
A Franco-German axis has long been seen as the twin engine dominating Europe's economy and politics. But the inconclusive outcome of the French election has profoundly altered the power balance in the continent's political landscape.
First of all, the result is that we will have a Macron which will sing a bit less loudly, as he did over the last months and years. Macron was like the primus inter pares in Europe, much more than Germany. But the second result is that hopefully we'll have a bit more of a European response rather than the response of a few countries. Or we will have a Europe led by Europe, more European, rather than being a Europe led by the Franco-German axis.
French President Emmanuel Macron gambled on a snap national election after a surge in support for the far right in last month's European elections. Macron succeeded in stopping the far right in the second round, but at the cost of undermining his own presidential authority. What the European and French elections have shown is both right and left-wing politicians benefiting from a disillusionment with the centrist parties.
It's very easy to get carried away with the triumph of the far right, and in countries like Germany and particularly France they did do well. But it's worth bearing in mind that in the Nordic countries a Social Democrat vote held up rather well. Same was true in Portugal and in Spain. So it's very much a mixed picture across Europe, but it's a picture in which the centre in the European Parliament is slightly weakened, the Greens are significantly weakened. That will have impacts on the policies that the European Union pursues going forward.
And on the edge of Europe is a country keen to get back in the mix. 8 years after Britain voted to Brexit from the European Union, the UK has a newly elected Prime Minister with the stability of a big parliamentary majority and a 5-year mandate. The election of a new government here at Westminster has certainly changed the European political map. Gone is Rishi Sunak's Eurosceptic Conservative government, replaced by Keir Starmer's Labour government. And while Labour has no intention of reversing Brexit, its stated aim is closer ties with its European neighbours. At the centre of the EU project is Ursula von der Leyen, the current president of the European Commission. If the European Parliament approves her reappointment later this month, she, like Starmer, will be secure in office until 2029. The European political map is being redrawn, but it's a process of evolution rather than revolution. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, London.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines?
Leon Bullen of Carriacou urges St. Kitts and Nevis to continue aid support through relief drive. Public Works addressing issues in Bastia relating to road safety. CARICOM reconvening summit in Grenada late July. Soldiers from Antigua and Barbuda arrive in Grenada. Internationally, Indonesia intensifies search for dozens buried in landslide that killed at least 23 people.
Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Bastia in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
.35, and we're in the second half of today's presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. Been with you for, the top of the program, and we've had, of course, a very exciting first half. We certainly know for the second half right now, but first, we're going to give credit to our sponsors and come back and start our discussion again.
Attention, savvy shoppers. It's that time of year again to upgrade your home and feed your family with Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. For over 25 years, we've been making dreams come true by offering cashback coupons for free groceries on all hire purchases. That's right, we've given away over $1 million worth of groceries to our loyal customers. And this year, it's your time to cash in on the savings. Whether you're in the market for a new sofa, a sleek kitchen upgrade, or a cozy bedroom set, Hortford's and Ashley Furniture Home Store have everything you need to turn your house into a home. And when you make a higher purchase with us, you'll receive cashback coupons redeemable for free groceries. Yes, so why wait? Visit Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Upgrade your home, feed your family, and save big with cashback coupons for free groceries. Only at Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Yes, we're back into the second half of today's presentation. I await my guests who's supposed to be here by now for the second half. But in the meantime, let's see what we can discuss. You want to, we have a call on the line? Okay, good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hello, good afternoon, Sacco.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I would like to respond to Greg.
Yep.
I'm the farmer he was referring to.
That is correct.
Could you recall I host a program with you?
2 programs, actually.
All right. I had a plastic bag. We call them scandal bag with documents in them.
You did?
Yes. At this present point in time is what I'm going to. Because it's not only myself alone who undergoing this struggle, but the whole consortium. There's no rift between me and the consortium. We are all for one and one for all. And put that there clear.
Okay.
The present ongoing problem is a man come up here since December. Not December. Yeah, December. Agriculture sent up a bulldozer with the instructions. Straight at the fencing was broken down that I had before. Drip lines to clean the land. We fence it and replace the drip lines. Those drip lines got that kind of damage because after 2022, when Mr. Miguel Fleming was invited, I wasn't the one who invited him to come on my farm. It was another radio host. She got him involved. He reached up. All kind of promises was made. None was delivered. Okay? Fast forward now to December of last year. The bulldozer came up. Up to this point in time, the land have not yet been properly cleaned. The plants and they're all destroyed. I had a nursery with about 5,000 pepper seedlings. I had to get rid of them because they start to be in the nursery and the kind of house. So. And next set coming and they were coming. Mr. Miguel Fleming, the permanent secretary, and the Minister of Agriculture. I get it in the gif. Miguel Fleming used this word to Mr. Sam Kondo. I am very problematic. The Minister of Agriculture used the same said word to me. So that tells you. Let us communicate. But the funny thing to it is this: how is it both individuals could be harvesting, but I can't? How is it the members of the consortium harvesting and the crops are being left to us rot? How much $100,000 has been lost?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them went out and do all the hard work, all the spending. To the 25 by 25, that percentage should have at least reduced the amount of input. It wasn't put to that. But nobody could go around the head table with these two men dictating what should be done to with the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the Minister of Agriculture, he just come into agriculture by the farmer's wife, which is that is luck. So be it. But then why is it, man, you know, Sacro, from the burying ground of St. Peter's by the Anglican Church up to the mountain range, I invest X amount of $1,000 to get pipes to get water up on my farm. No assistance from government. Drip lines. Just recently, during the COVID, they had a fire done by Gillard Meadows area, that's done with the airport area. Fire reached up on my farm, destroy all my pipelines, all my drip lines. One bare roll of drip lines that was given by Mr. Hello. Chakra.
I'm listening, you know. I want the public to hear you.
I want to make certain I'm still in contact.
Yes, you're in contact.
One bare roll of drip lines that was given by Dublin Collins. One roll of submarine line. A plastic bag with 50 shut-off valves. That's all I received. I then had was to go work again to replace those said drip lines that went up in fire. No assistance from government. So when certain set of people figuring and be getting all kind of handouts, it's not so. What could the consortium do for me personally when they can't help themselves? The problem lies between two men, Hitler and Himmler. You know, took place during the Second World War. But when
I know who you're referring to. What I want to get from you.
I'm going to come back to this to know. Some kind of one. I sent him a video of the farm when it was left, how it was left at the condition it is at right now. So some kind of should have known when Mr. Miguel Fleming, when I tell him all kind of dirty remarks about me, it ain't so, because he got the evidence. Miguel Fleming got a copy of it. The Minister of Agriculture, for some unknown reason, didn't have the number. The man sent him none. When it's a problematic, how is it then? I then went and I get on call names, you know, to make person to get to the straight and understanding of what's going on. I went and I got Mr. Reginald George, extension officer for up here from since before I was up here. I came up here in 1985. Reginald George know how up here is. Almost a month now, you know. Mr. Kondo, I know Reginald George called Sam Kondo, but Sam Kondo ain't get back to me and get back to Mr. Ashton Stanley for the four of us to come up here to see what's going on.
Stick a pin there for me now.
Hello?
Stick a pin there for me, please, okay?
I'll do that.
Gregory called.
I know, I heard him.
Yes. What he's indicating is that the consortium has decided to work with you and find solutions for what has been problematic for you over the years.
Yes.
That is what I'm getting.
No ill feeling
right?
at all between me and them. And
right. So I don't want to go back to all the complaints you've been having. What I need for you to say is whether or not there's something being worked out between you and the consortium.
For me to be here on my phone and talking to you, let us arrange that I could come back in the studio sometime next week, no?
Okay, we can do that, but I want to hear from you now. Is there something being worked out? Is there some support from the consortium that's come to your aid to address these many problems?
They cannot do nothing about the situation presently as is. Because, for example, the same said individual, you know, went and dig up a trench for me pipe is it and put his pipe in the same trench. What could the consortium do about that? What could the consortium do about the fence in the road? At this present point in time, the consortium hands are tied. Our hands are tied. That's the whole problem. And the police too, because the police them telling me, the authorities them telling me, I got to live with it. I went as far as to reaching out to them.
Okay, here's what. Do I get?
I am problematic.
I have a guest who I promised this segment to. So what we can do, set up a time we can come in and give us an update.
Let us say next week, Wednesday.
Maybe Wednesday, Friday, all depends. They may have other guests,
okay,
but
okay.
let's stay in touch and we'll try to get it sorted out. At least give us an update as to what's been affecting you.
668-2555 764.
Do you have a number?
Me? I was just giving you my number.
668. Trent, can you call it for me? I don't have a pen, please. 668
2555
2555.
Yeah.
Okay.
764-7117.
Okay.
And the name is Cartwright Tweed.
I know you very well, man. I know you've been here at least twice before.
All right. Thanks for that, my respect.
Much appreciated. Okay. Today, we want to celebrate the fact that the man recognized as the Calypso King of the world is celebrating his 89th birthday. Given to us from Grenada by Grenada and Trinbago, Dr. Slinger Francisco is now celebrating his 89th birthday, and his hashtag Mighty Sparrows Day. I don't know if it's recognized as a holiday in Trinbago, but yes, he's celebrating his 89th birthday. Grenadian, Trinbagonian. As a matter of fact, some time ago, Sugar Alonso telling me he was saying back to Grenadian drum. But yes, we celebrate the contribution of Dr. Slinger Francisco, otherwise known as the Mighty Sparrow. And I hope, before the day is done, we can get some of his work being played and recognized on the stations throughout the region, especially here in SKN. Okay, let's go for a station break. When we come back, we introduce a guest, and we'll take it from there. Okay. I'm going to let you mute it.
Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less with our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
It's 12:48, and we are continuing our discussions on the various topics that affect our federation. I have with us within the studio a gentleman who normally calls and makes his contribution. And last week I was talking about a certain topic, and he was actually expressing his opinion on it. And after that discussion, we agreed for him to come in the studio and sit with me and a little chit chat. We were talking about the sales. I was speaking about my objection to the continued selling of the passports. I'm thinking up to a certain point, any country or any business, you would make an investment up to a certain point and take the profit from that and reinvest, but not to continue to sell out. In this case, what I think is our birthright. The gentleman was making a case, well, he don't have any problem with that and all that. I'm going to read something related to this same topic, and then I'll introduce you, and then we talk about your point of view. Okay? Headline is, this is from the Sinkers Nevis Times. It says, Sinkers and Nevis reverses and reduces CBI price amid market rejection and a RICO scandal. And going to date a bit of a detail here. Let me see if we can find it. That because of the competition in the market, we don't have to sell our passports at a lesser price. And it continues. Sinkers and Nevis government is facing criticism for its handling of the Citizenship by Investment program now led by the convicted fraudster Yada Yada. Okay, I want to get the selling points. Amidst the backlash against the new public benefit option and the RICO lawsuit involving prominent figures such as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Investment, Dr. Denzel Douglas, sales of Sinkers and Nevis passport products have plummeted, forcing the government to lower prices less than what was stated 2 months ago, signaling that neither the revised CBI program nor Martinez's public benefit option has gained traction in the marketplace. Despite these significant changes, the Prime Minister, and they go on to speak about what he's doing and not doing. So, sir, well, if I can call it that, right? Want to get closer no, I don't know if you can call it that, Ras Judah. Okay, there's a microphone, right? Let me get it closer to you so we can hear you loud, clear.
Julie, yeah, man, blessed love.
I am thankful that you took the invitation and you're here with us because I do appreciate your when you call and you make some very, very valuable points. So Ras Judah is in the house and you're making the case that you have nothing against the selling of our passport.
No.
Right? Okay. You think that is a good thing and that the country can survive without it? Is that your position?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, let's hear what you have to say on it.
Well, okay. If you remember, right, the last call, I asked you, who do you think it belongs to?
You did?
Yeah, so could you tell I who think it belongs to?
It's supposed to be the people of St. Nevis.
Okay. I hear when they take the oath is swear to the Queen, her heirs and her successors.
They pledge allegiance to the Queen, the King and her heirs and successors.
Okay, so the land is our land.
Okay, here's what. We are supposed to be, as of 1983, an independent nation.
Mm-hmm.
We are still a member of the British Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
The same as Canada, Nigeria, India, they are all Commonwealth member of the Crown.
Mm.
So on our currency, you would have it was a Queen as a figurehead of the Commonwealth. We have Sir Arthur Lewis. He's from the region, but the head of the figurehead is on the currency. It's going to change eventually to King Charles. So we do pledge allegiance to the monarch, the sovereign, the heir and successors, even though we claim to be an independent nation. We observe the same status as Canada, India, and Nigeria. That is why Nigerians and East Indians living here can vote. They can vote in an election. They're Commonwealth members, and they observe that status, which gives them a right to vote.
But then, you said the passport is the property of the Kititians, right?
Yes.
Who is a Kititian?
A natural-born native is the first instance.
It can be African, it can be Asian, it can be European, it can be Indian. You just have a ban, right? Because none of us born in other people's land because we want the citizenship. We born with children in America, we born them in Europe because we want the benefits of that society. You understand? So when I look at the citizenship, it's a matter of convenience. You know what I mean? But what we can sell or run away from is our identity, and that is what we don't want to accept. Now, I was showing you that we were sold into slavery. And when you talk about reparation and all of these things, this is slavery was legal. It was legal to buy and sell people into slavery. You understand? So I say, now we in a time now where we see efforts by extracellular powers, extra outside the nation powers where try to weaken the economy of the Caribbean people. Right, because majority of us come out of the African stock. It's the same challenge the African people have got in Africa, right? Even though Africa is a resourceful land, you understand? So this strategy, you know what I mean? If you weaken our economy, then we have to come to IMF and World Bank. You understand? And you know, when you borrow the money, you can't finish pay it off because how they set the interest rate. See, for us, not for them, for us. You understand? So that we don't become a developed people, a developed country. You understand? So it's undermine whatever effort. So the passport to me come into existence out of slaving us, right? The slave us and the call us Kittishan and they say, well, this is our. All of these is British monarchy things.
Yeah, but
we have to free ourselves from all of these things, you know. What I'm saying, the king, right? We are the first people. We give the people of the earth these ideas, right? And we seem to forget that. So we just follow what we commit. I mean, if we commit something and we think that that ain't good enough for us, we create something. See? So why am to we creative powers? Why am to that? We stop create? Because, you know, we are the creators, check? But we stop creating things. See? And that is the problem. See? This system is a European system. The modern world, because the teachers in school, the people came to the new world. Right? And they tell you, 1492. This world is a recent world, you know. It started in what? 15th century, right? They send out Columbus them 1492. See the lands them. And then they send out the people and get rid of the inhabitants. And then they send in the seculars them, like Fort Thomas One and all that. You know what I mean? And, you know, bring in we know for build up Europe, right? Through agriculture. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, they exploit the other resources out of Africa. So we as African people being properly exploited. See? So now is the 21st century. Right? Them things they get cancelled. And like, it get cancelled, right? Not because of our doings. Right? If you know anything about astrology, the heavens control the earth. Right? We're going on the earth, don't just go on without efforts happening in the heavens. Right? So you find like you got a time when you plant, right? You got a time when it's best to reap certain things. You got a time when it's best to plant. You understand? Yeah, it depends on the position of the heavenly bodies. You understand? So all of that affect human.
What I want to bring us back to, and what started this discussion,
the selling of the passport,
was your position and my position on the selling of the passports, or they say units or investments. My position is, if you use this mechanism to jumpstart your economy and bring it to a certain level of readiness in terms of being able to position your country in a position to negotiate on a level playing field as best you can with the neighboring islands, our trading partners out there, etc. You get to that point, you invest a certain amount of that capital in the development of your country, and you put mechanisms in place to make sure that the country can run. It's like jump-starting a vehicle. It gets moving.
I see what you say.
Right? But you shouldn't have to be pushing the vehicle all the time. You're supposed to invest, put in a battery, get a proper engine working, so it becomes self-generating. So my issue is why do we have to continue selling? Where do we stop? You take that investment, it's a citizen by investment. Okay? Let's take our demographics. We got about 55,000 people as our population.
Locally.
Right? Locally. You got about 55,000 Kittians, Nivisians living abroad. Right?
Through the program.
No.
Okay.
Remember, we are people who migrate.
Okay.
We out there from back in the 40s. We went to the Dominican Republic, to Panama.
Is citizens
living overseas, yes.
Citizens in other people's land.
That is correct. Right? And we are holders of our local passport, or we have dual citizenship. Passport from St. Kitts, green card from the US, but it's what we Kittitians still recognize as Kittitians. So we are 100,000 Kittitians based on that. Right? We're hearing, and from the figures, there's a guesstimation there are over 100,000 passports sold to non-nationals, and they're now nationals. Because when the workers used to settle shelter down under the big tree across from courts, remember they used to settle there shelter before they get buses to go to work? And when the Chinese came to build, they chased them from there. And when people start protesting, you know, Dr. Douglas said they are nationals, not they're citizens, because they have the passport, right? So my thing is, St. Vincent don't have that program. Trinidad don't have that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have it, but I'm saying these islands should not be dependent on selling of the passport for your survival, your economic survival.
True.
That is my question. Why do we have to be continuously, we have to develop programs, attract the requisite investment to keep the country economically buoyant? Because if we don't do that, if our passport sales for whatever reason crashes, and we can't sell them, what happened to us? It's about 60% of the economy is dependent on the sale of passports.
So let me ask you a question, King. Now, if you don't sell the passport, what else the government have?
That is what I'm saying. We need to, going back from 1983, to craft mechanisms to make us less dependent on the sale of passports.
Create, right?
St. Vincent do not, and the economy is strong. Because here's what happened. These people, we understanding, have the right to vote. If 30% of our population, I'll say even 25%, can vote because of the age dynamics, and they can come in and decide to vote in an election, they determine what government we have. They determine the direction of the country. Because you're given the right to vote.
We always got a fear for the unknown, you know.
Yes, we do. But you have to look at what happened before. You have to look at what happened in the past and learn from it.
But good things happened in the past, too.
Yes, both good and bad.
Yes, so I'm saying...
As far as Tegro Martin is concerned, it wasn't a good thing.
But what I'm saying right now, okay, if you check what saying it is, right, and what petition is, you're born on the land, right? So it ain't really no special because Chinese have petition. He ain't look like me now, yo, but he's a petition. He got the same rights and privileges like us because he born here, right?
I agree with you.
So I'm saying is like, no, people travel, free to travel the earth. People supposed to be free to travel here because you're seeking for an improvement in your life, right? You're seeking for opportunities, right? So if you can assist, you know what I mean, by not doing nothing wrong still, you know, you assist. But you see, the problem is now we got this fear that, well, somebody gonna come and take away the island from we, but the island ain't we won, you know, the island belongs to everybody who depend on the island, you know what I mean? And it's like, we are African people. Africa, we have to make nice far. I keep saying it, watch your king. Them storm getting greater and greater every year, you know. You see, we start the year with what? A 5, a category 5.
Category 5, the first
no,
ever
watch here, right?
presented in July.
Conspiracy.
Actually in June.
Conspiracy theory, right? Conspiracy blind theory, say, right? They got geoengineering taking place.
We accept that too.
See? So these storms may not be natural storms, right? We're geared to damage the economy of the Caribbean. You understand? Because the whole purpose is to have the Caribbean
dependent.
Exactly. Right? Now, if we don't link with our homeland, because that's the only way we're going to free, you know. Right? We have to link with our land.
The homeland has to do their job.
Good, but what I'm saying, we may be...
There are 53 African nations, only 3 of them now are showing unity.
But you know, Marcus Garvey influenced a lot of them. Marcus Garvey never got Africa, right? So I'm saying is that we got CARICOM and all of these things. So I'm saying, no, they got the AU and we got CARICOM. We got meetings where, you know what I mean, we can influence one another for the betterment of I. You know what I mean? But to sit down out here in the hurricane zone and say, well, every year we got to prepare for hurricane season. You know what I mean?
What choices do we have? What choices do we have?
We got to make life, that repatriation must come into the picture. We must make life move from here. Because I said, hurricane go hit us every year. All this time in the season go hit you. So as soon as you think you put back on your roof, the next one come and push down the wall. You know, I mean, what do you think happened to the economy? It done.
You say we have to move. What movement do we have?
Africa.
What movement do we have? You speak about the idea or a concept, but what movement do we have?
When the European brought us to slave, right? He didn't think no idea and a concept, you know, right? He had a need to develop Europe, right? And the only people who could have supplied the labor was the African people.
We've got about 7 million people in the region. 7.8 million people in the region, in the Caribbean, right? What percentage of that population is speaking your language, is part of a movement to actually move back to Africa as part of discussions here, pockets of or like on African Liberation Day, you hear it. Thursday, you hear it.
Not
you might
many.
hear it on St. Kitts, a chapter of the Naibengi, a chapter in Nevis, this and that. But what cohesive movement we have? What discussions
Not
are
many.
we having place with governments in Africa?
Yeah.
That when we get there, we'll be given open arms, given property to develop, etc. What discussion we have at that level?
You don't got much going on at the level.
Right.
Truth, that we know of, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying, still we can start, you know, because we must, the Bible says, you know, but the people in visionless, they're going to perish.
That movement to bring Africans out here was based on greed and the economic
need.
Greed, the economic development of
No,
Europe.
it become greed later, right? But Europe was impoverished. Europe was an impoverished nation.
And the only salvation was to steal Africans and bring them out here?
The whole world, they still think is Africa. Remember the Caribs, them, you know. Remember
You're saying they were impoverished.
Yeah.
So are you making an excuse for slavery?
No, facing the reality, right? The time, right? The age. In which Europe was poor, right?
That was my business.
I know. So I'm just showing you, like, that is why, you know, looking at Africa, splendor.
They were raping.
Okay, but what I'm saying,
interrupting Africa's development.
Yes, right.
And still exploiting it today for their greed.
So what I say now, right? Because they had the need now. What is our need? That is the question I'm asking. What is I need in today's world as African people? Because we go on like we don't got a need.
We're approaching 200 years since the Emancipation Declaration, 1834. In a couple of 12, 14, 13 years will be 200 years. We as a people are still trying to find the center. We're still trying to find or define our identity. We were given labels. You're Jamaican.
That was telling you.
You are Trinidadian. You need a passport to cross.
You understand?
You don't have any sense of unity as a people. Carnival time, we jump up in New York. Yeah, we're sitting in the Caribbean. Beyond that, what discussion do we have as a people, as a program? We are repatriating to Africa, where Africa, what reception are we going to meet, etc. We don't have that. We have an idea, we have discussions, but nothing tangible on the table as we really do it. And is there really a need for that?
But of course.
Because when you leave for here, I mean, you want to reconnect. I was in Ghana in March. I showed up and said, I am proud to be African. I sing it. I'm a native born Kittian, but I'm proud of my African ancestry. I made a connection.
But your roots, you're African first.
Yes.
Come here, say, if I come and I ask,
I'm not Chinese. Look at me.
If I come and I ask, what are the defining features of a Kittitian? What a Kittitian supposed to look like? You can't answer that. But I could ask what a Chinese, you know what I mean? What a European, what African.
Great points.
You understand? We got
Great
defining. We got specific features. You understand? So you find like Kittitian, all of them labels that come out after the New World was invented. You know what I mean?
Columbus.
Yeah, you see?
Those are both. I'm a Kittitian. Oh,
yeah,
okay. You came with Columbus.
Look at how the political system set up. You vote for your representative, right? And the family, the government. But the government is not a government for the people. It's the government of the throne, of the monarchy, British monarchy.
The
so,
system
so the allegiance, yes, so the allegiance is to their. So it's their orders and their ideas they're gonna do. You understand? Because that's how the system be. That's why I hear me say we got dash with the whole thing. See? You need a people who in government to look after the people. You understand? Because that's what the people put you there for do, right? To look after the people. See, not to listen to these guys. These guys, we want to get away from you.
That the Rastafarian brotherhood and sisterhood have done more to unite the people and bring that conscious awareness to the people across the region than any government or any institution on that level. And you face a lot of resistance. A lot of resistance. There's a slow acceptance that you were right.
Yeah, Rastafari is God Almighty. Haile Selassie is the Almighty, right? I'm going to show the eye something. We take it slight and we think it's a joke thing, you know, you say Rastafari is a religion. No, it's the new way of life. It's the new. You see, like how the Reverend Jesus Christ in this past age, right, the age of Pisces, right now we're in the age of Aquarius, and it's Haile Selassie. Because him is the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Christ said when he come, he shall be the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. And he shall go through all of these things here. And we see the same time his majesty crown. After that, he had the war and all these things where the Bible says he going to go through. You see all of these things he go through and he still come forward now to deliver the whole of the earth, because the whole bondage now is what we seeing going on. We are set influential people where try to control the whole of humanity, lock down the whole of humanity. See, the whole system is designed to control masses of the people. Check. So that's why you said you're democratic, but you're not free. You know what I mean? You say freedom, but you're free and you're dumb. No, you want free movement.
You say you're free and you're dumb.
That's what it is, right? Because you're saying it, right? You want free movement. You want free movement, right? You want free speech, right? And free stance.
You're free and you're dumb.
Not free and dumb. Saying a righteousness, you know. Yeah, man.
That one tickle me. That one tickle me. But I don't think that any government should be reliant only on the sale of a country's patrimony for economic development. Now, our survival is tied to global markets, right? If we were to develop a farming community where we can self-sustain ourselves, we still have that thing of attracting foreign revenue. We want that to develop a country. You want a hotel because tourism is a very large percent of our, it's the number one foreign revenue earner, the tourist dollar. We want to be competitive. We added a second cruise pier, that's investment. Antigua is building theirs, that's investment. We compete for the tourist dollar. So you invest that in your country's infrastructure, your roads, your school, you educate people, you teach them skills, make them more competitive in the job market, etc. That's the scope of it. So you have an article that's very attractive because our passport gives you visa-free access to 170-something countries.
Truly.
You couldn't get a passport in Iran that could get you to the US because there are travel restrictions on people from that region. Having a passport from St. Kitts could get you in. But the US had a travel advisory on people from that region. That is why they tried to shut down our program when they realized that Iranians and such people who they put a ban on were able to access passport from St. Kitts and Nevis to travel to those countries. So it's got value. It's got value. But you take the investment from that and you develop, not continuously selling, because at the end of the day, they're criticians. They have dual citizenship. You understand? But they could come in and vote. And that works against your interests. If they decide we want certain policies, etc., they come in a number. The ballot box, right, is where they exercise the power. The ballot over the bullets. But they still have that control mechanism.
You see, we shouldn't really be relying on the sale of the passport.
That is what I'm saying.
Right?
That is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, but you see, we got to face the reality, like I say, you know what I mean? And it's such that we have to do these things because...
Up to a certain point. That's my contention.
How other else? Because, okay, when you look at the education we have, right? The education...
Eurocentric.
Just repeat the same thing. You see, we are not like we dumb, we like free and we dumb. We are creative beings, right? But I don't see we put too much creativity into nothing. You understand? Because that part we make up, we ain't develop that. We ain't develop the faculty. You understand? No, it's true because it's like when you go to school, it's basically repeat what you tell you. You know? See, it's not what you know what I mean. It's not going what you think or what you say. You see,
but it's to educate you to adapt and survive in this society that is crafted around us.
Yes. So
but
when we
here's
examine,
what we don't have to take a session break.
Okay.
Before we continue with discussion. So Trent, take us downtown.
You don't got one.
Attention, savvy shoppers! It's that time of year again to upgrade your home and feed your family with Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. For over 25 years, we've been making dreams come true by offering cashback coupons for free groceries on all hire purchases. That's right, we've given away over $1 million worth of groceries to our loyal customers. And this year, it's your time to cash in on the savings. Whether you're in the market for a new sofa, a sleek kitchen upgrade, or a cozy bedroom set, Hortford's and Ashley Furniture Home Store have everything you need to turn your house into a home. And when you make a higher purchase with us, you'll receive cashback coupons redeemable for free groceries. Yes, sir. So why wait? Visit Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Upgrade your home, feed your family, and save big with cashback coupons for free groceries. Only at Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Hortford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Hortford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Welcome back to Voices. We got about 15 minutes before the close of play today, and we're having a conversation with. Listen, we had a little chat during the debate there. One of the things we pointed out is a possibility. You remember the days of the federal palm and the federal maple?
Yes, sir.
And the people were able to travel through and take things. That's one of the biggest challenges that we face in terms of our agriculture.
Truly.
About a year ago, I was able to bring a meeting, brought some folks. They actually came, but it was arranged for them to come back to St. Kitts and meet with the folks at the crop up at the headquarters about agriculture produce, because they identified some foods grown here in St. Kitts that they would love to have in Martinique, right?
Yes.
But there are no vessels that travel between, right? So that's a challenge. Air freight is very expensive. If the region, let's say for the government,
CARICOM,
let's take St. Kitts. To say, okay, there's a need. Our farmers, we need markets. We can grow it, but they're not markets.
Truly.
But St. Martin have need for this. Trinidad have need for that, blah, blah, blah. Let's buy a boat.
Truly.
Let's invest in a boat.
Marcus Garvey that,
Right?
Yeah.
And when the farmers here have X amount of tons of tomato, we don't have to throw them away. We ship them here. We package them and ship them here. That's the investment. So you sell X amount of passport, but you get the money to invest
in other avenues.
Us is something that the region needs.
Truly.
We need a boat.
Truly.
Because the markets are there.
Truly.
But NAFTA shut down the market. They're trading between Canada, Mexico, and the US. And they cripple the windband banana industry because it's cheaper for them to get bananas from Mexico, drive across the border, they're less perishable, than to ship by boat from here. So they kill that. The region need to look at that and say, we need a boat. So that we have yam in station, we have tomato here, and we have okra there, trade between the region.
Yes, I.
If we don't have that, we depend on who own the airlines.
Yes, I. Yes, I.
And if it is crippling, so PM Drew invest in a boat.
Yes, I.
Help our farmers.
A vision that, you know.
If not, the food will perish.
And we gonna perish too.
And we'll go to the market, they find we have too much tomato here, too much cabbage here, because everybody go at the same time because they're not enough markets. That's our problem. So since they shut down our markets over there, create a market here,
exactly.
Put a damn boat in place.
Exactly. And other things too, you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm talking about. We need to think outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the box is what this world system is, you know? That's the box. You have to think outside of that. Because that they're set to underdevelop I as African people, you know, because when you look at it, Africa is the richest land, right? Now, you may say talking about Africa, but Africa is the root of all it.
I was in Ghana some months ago, and my driver said to me, he said, look at that, gold. That's what we're talking about. Looking in the hillside as you're driving, that. Gold dust.
How to mine it?
Huh?
Ghana,
it is so much there, but you find, in order to mine them into the market, you need the machinery. But I'm saying we're driving, and I had my driver stop. I paid the young lady to go, and we got some gold dust, which I brought back some to St. Kitts. It's the hills that glitter when it was called the Gold Coast. So all the minerals and resources are there, but it's who are the ones in control, who are still exploiting.
You see, I'm Europe, man. Yeah,
there you go.
Because, and like that's what I'm saying, so we don't have no interest in that. We think that, we in the Caribbean, so we are Caribbean people. We ain't got nothing but so. You know what I mean? Who is a Kittian? Like, I mean, I know when I look, I say, boy, I mean, you know, because I born here, that's how I get a passport.
Mm-hmm.
Chinaman born here, that's how we get a passport. You know what I mean? So it's like, he really like, just, you know what I mean? But I know so well, even though the Chinaman born here, he don't look like me. See? But there are other people, regardless to wherever them born, they look like me. You see? So them, they more got a connection with I and I, you know what I mean? So I'm saying that there is of value, right? And that the lead I and I back to Africa, which is our land, right? Which is the richest continent. But we ain't taking it on, right? We're taking on the thing that is
average
fading.
middle income African, but let me speak about Ghana, and it bothers me. Works for $80 a month.
How that?
$80 a month, 1,000 cedis. That's the local currency. When I asked the chef in the hotel where he stayed, it was a Marriott, and I asked him, what's your salary? He says, 1,000 cedis a month. And when you do the exchanges, $80. That bothered me. That bother me. You understand?
You see who the world belong to. Who the world belong to, they put everything in their favor.
Once good afternoon to Amber Lewis over there in Anguilla, and of course Rosemary Donald. By the way, say hi to Bag of Sugar for me. These guys, you know, they're listening. But that's the reality. So I've questioned myself, when we're speaking about going back to Africa, do we know what we're going back to? Because Ghana, I think was 2019 thereabouts or whatever. So I'm gonna. It was the year of the return, and people start going back. But those are folks who had money, and the government provided lands for a lot of people who returned. They're encouraging that, but you have to have something to really
survive out there. You see, Africa got everything to be independent.
That is true,
right? No, Africa lack a lot of knowledge. We in the West got a lot of knowledge we can benefit Africa. You understand? No, when I say the West, I'm talking about Europe and America. Same way, not just the Caribbean. See? No, Africa, when we return to Africa, when in 2019, it was said that...
The year of return. I think it was that.
Year of return, right? It's truth, right? That's where you start. You know what I mean? Because there's the end of the cycle. Remember, there was a saying that 2012 the world would end?
Yes.
According to them. It's true.
Yes.
2012.
Well, 2000 was one, year 2000. They made the clock and all kind of nonsense and everything would crash. Nothing happens.
Because the earth went under cycles, 24 hours is a cycle. 7 days make a week is a cycle. You know what I mean? 4 weeks in a month, that's a cycle. You know what I mean? You got a cycle. But we learn time based on a calendar, Julian calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's how we learn time. But other civilization before us learn the cycles them. So they could tell you when a certain cycle would end. Right? So 2019 was the end of that cycle. So this is the time now you find that the great awakening, people are awakening, right, in the earth. We as Africans coming back to the senses, right? Now, we have to go, we have to look to ourselves as Africans. Nobody else is going to help us, right? We have to look to ourselves. Now, when we return to Africa, that's why I say like the CARICOM need to have meetings with the AU, right? The CARICOM go. Don't just be occupied with this Western world business, but see a vision of a future. You know what I mean? Okay, like say we remain, and some of us remain in St. Kitts. How we gonna continue to prosper? You gotta trade with Africa.
Trade
See?
again, the
Yes.
transport mechanism.
See? You have to have, because
I would say
everybody go.
Yeah, I would say, and actually, a lot of our businesses in the US are failing now because the tradition of going to the supermarkets to shop that's being undermined by online shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Bagger some minutes ago, and she's talking about lots of the shops there. She's sad because you go there and they're closing down because of online shopping. The world is changing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't have to go to a supermarket. They can just make a call. And the X amount and somebody delivered it. You know, so that is taken away from traditional business. But I'm thinking, as we discussed this morning, what we need as what could be part of a major development and a paradigm shift in our, economic investment is a vessel.
Truly.
That caters not only the farmers in St. Kitts, but traders, but we control that in the region. That is what we need.
And even further afield, because that was Marcus' vision,
Yes.
To have trade amongst I and with Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So maybe Marcus' time come now too. You know what I mean?
Well, the ideas are there.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, most of our leaders would have gone to UE, come back with a jacket and tie.
Yeah, British man.
They have a Eurocentric education.
Yeah.
But in terms of, that is why today we don't have any Minister of Culture that is looking at teaching Afro history in the schools because he wasn't taught that at UE. They weren't taught at UE. So they have the doctorates and the this and that, they have their mannerisms, etc. And they go to court with their robes and their wigs. Why you a black man wearing a wig in court? Why are you wearing a wig?
Well, that's the court.
The white lawyers back then used to wear a wig to hide the nonsense. But you find black people going to court with wigs and this and that, your Lord, is Eurocentric.
Exactly.
So we have to find ourselves.
Exactly.
Right?
Move
Dr.
away
Drew?
from all of that.
Dr. Drew, we want the boat. We want the vessel.
Yeah.
And that, I think, will be the way forward in weaning ourselves off this dependency of selling of our passport continuously. Let's invest. We had the issue with whole LIAT and interregional travel, etc. But air cargo is so much more than by the traditional, vessels. Remember the federal palm and the federal maple, how well it served the region.
Exactly.
Whoever owned it back then. But we need a vessel to address the regional concerns and the markets of our farmers. And that will make us less dependent on the sale of our patrimony. Right? We got 2 minutes to go. Anything you want to say in wrapping up? Mike is yours.
Well, I would say, let us don't just condemn the sale of the passport, Understand the value in it.
I'm saying better manage.
Yeah.
Not condemn it.
I mean? If we can, because it's a survival we are under, given the situation we're in, you know what I mean? And, like there I say, if the government, the region, get a vessel together, encourage more trade with the region and with Africa, do things that we never do before, I feel we'll be heading in the right direction,
You know how we came here?
Huh?
You know how we came here?
How we came here?
By vessels.
Exactly.
Lloyd's of London, one of the biggest insurance companies in the world, became established because they were insuring the cargo of the vessels. We were the cargo.
Yes.
And those insurance companies became mega monolith because they were insuring the boats. It's time that we get a boat for ourselves and determining our way forward,
exactly.
our destiny.
And you say a key thing, determine. We must learn to determine a lot of things for ourselves. Because what's good for you may not be necessarily good for I.
Mm-hmm.
So we must gather power to determine things for ourselves. See?
And as you pointed out, we need to think outside of the box. If not, we are marking time.
Yeah,
we're repeating the same thing.
That's where the box.
That's where the box. So this brings us to the closure of today's presentation of voices.
Yeah, man. Give thanks,
Yeah. Here, you hydrogen them now. You hydrogen up there, heal them up. You have hydrogen up there, heal them up.
The whole of the Rasta communities are hydrogen, I mean, the whole of the black people, the African people. I don't really love say black because black is an English word where it ain't got a good meaning, So I love say African, the whole of the African people. It's a nice family,
Respect that.
Rastafari.
Right?
Yes,
as we come to the end of today's presentation of voices, Chris Collins, just about everybody up there, have yourself a most wonderful Wednesday, the rest of today's Wednesday, and hopefully over the next week and the next week and the next week we would hear that the hurricane season would have passed and we haven't suffered any major natural disasters. It's supposed to be a very active one, but I just say it's engineered. But in the meantime, we're still in the pathway.
Conspiracy said that.
Peace, love, and happy Wednesday. Be over here.
Attention, savvy shoppers. It's that time of year again to upgrade your home and feed your family.